let's move on to number 3, avoid careless deconstruction. Now, something that happens when we go through this deconstruction process, where we are suspicious of our tradition, of the power structures and things like that, something that happens is that we can get so radicalized, we can overcorrect, we can go to the other extreme of the pendulum, and we might think, yes, my tradition is completely wrong, they are racist, they are this, they are that, and we just go nuts. All of us, I've done it many times, and I've seen it being done, and the internet actually rewards that type of behavior, rewards anger, rewards outrage. There isn't enough outrage to feed the internet. Like, the internet is craving for outrage. The views, viral content is usually outrage about many things. And so something that happens is that we can think that we have all the answers, we can really critical, and we can virtue signal just because we are denouncing a bad practice or something tyrannical in an organization. Actually, this is really common in undergraduates when they start reading philosophy, when they start reading Karl Marx, for example, or Foucault, or Derrida, or Nietzsche. You know, they become, yes, everything is wrong, everything is about power and things like that. So, and it makes sense, don't get me wrong, because this is driven partly by pain, a lot of pain, because you've been damaged and broken, like all of us, you know, and it's partly by ignorance, you know, because you think that you know better than you actually do. And so what happens in that position is that we might rush into an abrupt conclusion about an entire tradition just because we just saw one of the issues or tyrannical things or aspects about something, you know, and we just conclude like, no, everything is wrong, they have nothing to tell us, I'm right, they are wrong, and things like that. And I think it's useful to mention that, you know, I joked about it with my friends. I always say that in my opinion, Nietzsche and Derrida, both of these thinkers are actually, which by the way, Derrida is the person who cued the term deconstruction, okay? Even though Nietzsche was already doing that, but he didn't name it that way. But Nietzsche and Derrida, I usually say that Nietzsche and Derrida are the real gangsters, because they denounce a tradition that they actually knew really well. Derrida and Nietzsche had read, Plato, Aristotle, the medieval metaphysics, and the scientific revolution, and many things like that. So they were really knowledgeable about what was going on before trying to criticize the tradition. I feel like now people use this term deconstruction as a cheap excuse to just carelessly criticize institutions and behaving in a childish manner at times, and use it as a cop-out without the moral responsibility of reading, understanding, and then reconstructing ourselves into a position that is more harmonious, you know? Many times I feel like adults, when we go through this careless deconstruction, we can have these intellectual tantrums without taking much moral responsibility about this process of actually being careful with what views we criticize and why, and what views we actually still rescue from those traditions because they were valid.